Welcome back. I'm Bob Colt. We're continuing our conversations in the Charlotte Public School District, and Dennis Richardson is here. You are the girls volleyball coach. Now, why don't they call it women's volleyball coach?
We're still at under 18. We're still girls.
Is that right?
But they're young ladies to me.
And you've been here for a long time.
I have.
Well, tell us a little bit about your history, because a lot of people don't know it.
Well, I've been teaching here now since 1996, and I started out in the special education department. And before I was teaching, I was coaching volleyball here. And back in 96 and 97, the volleyball program had gone to the state finals. And so I was able to ride the coattails along with that as the freshman and JV coach. And when that coach retired, I was able to take over the program and continue teaching here. And to present day, I'm still teaching here and coaching volleyball.
65 seasons, what does that mean?
Okay, now, talking to you earlier, we were talking about how many volleyball seasons I've coached. And that would include college. I've coached 13 years in the college level, and that used to be in the fall, it still is. High school was in the winter. And then I also coach AU, which is in the spring. So when you wrap up all those seasons together, that would total 65 seasons. But on top of that, I've also been blessed enough, and I say that in a lot of good ways, that I've coached another 15 years of different sports, with basketball and track and softball here at Charlotte. So yeah, I've done a lot of different types of coaching and different levels, and I've been very fortunate to have good people around me.
So we'll get into the game, but what does it take to be a good coach?
My oh my. I think first of all you just have to be a good person, and you got to have good people around you. Leadership is huge, you know. I believe that anybody who wants to spend time helping the girls be successful, that, you know what, they have a good heart. It's my job to, if it works out with Charlotte Public Schools, they have to be okayed and everything through some paperwork and that, but I've had a lot of good assistant coaches over the years, and Rick Nevins has been with me for a long time. He's a lifetime Charlotte resident, but to have people like him and believe the same way you do, have the same philosophy, and just be able to work with kids and still see success coming from those kids, you know, like they're excited about the sport, and that's what drives me to keep coaching.
But a sport like girls volleyball just doesn't teach them one game skills. It teaches young women a lot of different skills.
Oh my, yes. Where do you want to start at that? We could go into you know, this summer we did an outcomes T-shirt on the back, and we talked about leadership and respect and hard work, and it goes on with about 30 different things that we do. I mean, the girls live it every day, and what's neat is their confidence grows with all that kind of, you know, we're working on this today, but yet, you know what, we got to build on that strength. You know, how can you not look somebody in the eye and say, yeah, let's go after it? And if they can't do that with a teammate, how can they do that later in life? You know, when you have to look at somebody, a boss or another employee, and say, you know what, we got to get this job done. And so yeah, there are a lot of different character traits and a lot of different things that come out in the sport of volleyball, and it's fast.
And athletics really teaches young people life skills, doesn't it?
By golly, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I tell the story to my middle school kids all the time about being at a middle school up in Lansing and how athletics got me through school. You know, I was track back then, and tracking cross country, and I was just excited about school because I was waiting for practice, and you know, and it is. Athletics is a huge part of my life, and I want to be part of some other kids here at Charlotte. And also I know that there's other programs out there, choir, band, and you know, drama, all those other things that the kids get involved in. So it's very important.
So you've had a lot of winning teams. What does it take to make a winning team?
It's a good question, because I've had other coaches ask me that, and it all comes down to the belief in the kids, wanting them to succeed, teaching them to succeed, telling them, you know, working on strategies that come up during the game so that it's not new to them during the game. Tom Izzo, for example, has these great deals where he has a timeout, and you always know MSU's going to score a point after a timeout. Well, I feel the same way in volleyball. Anytime there's a dead ball, it's time for us to call a play, and I feel as though we need to score that next point. And the girls, once we get clicking like that, score that next point, and we are very successful at that. Winning, the wins come, and it's very exciting, and I'm excited for the girls, and that's what people look for. But success is another word that we need to talk about, and that is sometimes you may lose, but you know what? Did we do the things we wanted to do? Did we achieve the goals we wanted to? And there's some really good programs out there. Now, in the Mid-Michigan area, I would say that we are moving up to one of the best ones in the Mid-Michigan area. But you go east and a little further west, and it's a different story,
And you can build a winning team and win a game, but that doesn't really build a great program, does it?
That's correct. A lot of things go into that. Last weekend for boosters, athletic boosters, our girls came over and helped out at the golf outing. We do different things and help clean courtyards and landscaping for different things, different people. We try to do different charities. We wrap gifts at Christmas time. But again, the girls are all excited about all that. It's a quality I think that we all need. It's giving back to the community. And if we can go as a team, the girls are even more excited about that.
And there's a lot of camaraderie, right?
Yes.
I mean, very much a team building kind of activity in sport.
Yes.
And they share both, school life and probably, after school life, don't they?
Very true. Yep. In my classroom, I have the different posters of the different teams I've coached, and the girls and younger 7th grade is who I have now, and they're looking at the girls and say, "Oh, who's that one, coach?" and Mr. Richardson, and I'll say, "Well, right now she's a pilot in the Army, in the Air Force. Another one's a doctor. Another one's a veterinarian. We have some great kids that come out of this community, and I don't think that's really reached, and it's really nice to be talking about that kind of thing."
Yeah. So, Coach Richardson, what do you do to coach a young girl who comes into the program? How do you improve their skills, particularly for volleyball? I mean, they're gaining life skills, but how do you focus on the sport?
The sport, first of all, I ask them if they want to play. And you can tell by looking them in the eye and seeing if that's true. I was taught that way back in 8th grade when my coach said that to me. And I always wondered what that was all about, but it does make sense. And if that girl has that kind of desire, you can see it. And then it comes down to what can I do to help them, because every girl has something to offer the team. Whether it be a passer, whether it be an attacker, whether it be a blocker, whether it be a setter. We do have different positions in volleyball, and so what can I do to help them? And then it comes down to their work ethic, their time management, and I try to be there wherever I can. And that is to me a winning thing that's sort of helping us out here in Charlotte.
So if I'm not a girl to join the team, what do I have to expect? What do I have to commit if I want to go out for the volleyball team?
Well, we since we switched volleyball to the fall, we start sort of open gyms, and they come on their own during the summer months. And we just opened a gym from 9 to 11. And this year we've had 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and it was, we had 25, 30 kids show up every day.
Wow.
And so that's where it starts. It starts with your seniors, and it filters down. And I want the 9th graders to be part of that, the 8th grade group. The volleyball program has one of the few, if not the only, that has a freshman program for girls. And so we have 3 levels, freshman, JV, varsity. And so just getting communication to them, and then just expecting that they are there, and we can work on those skills as together and individually. And then when we put it together during the season, that's fun watching it all come together.
So what do you watch for? What kind of skills do you watch for to try to get them to develop to be really good players?
Well, it's funny because I think this is what helps me in Charlotte, is because I look at their heart. And I want to know that they want to do it. I don't want to know that somebody else is pushing them. I don't want to know that they're being driven by something. They have to want to do that. Now, ability-wise, that's where somebody can jump higher, they move faster, they do something other, and it's up to my experience then to help them out, again, to find the right position. But wow, how exciting it is to help train somebody like that, to get them to different levels. And I have a junior now that's her dad talked to me last night, is so excited about being on the varsity, and you can see her getting better every match. And her focus and her intensity is something that is pretty exciting to watch.
Well, look, how much of the game is mental and how much is physical?
Well, if you're looking for a percentage, they have those out in books. I would say that it's like anything else. You need to focus during the play, and you need to focus, off the play, because you got to know what the play's coming up. I mean, what we're going to do as our team, or maybe our matchups on the other side. Because, but it is very much you got to be strong mentally,
And so, what does that mean? What does be strong mentally really?
What does that mean? It means that you have confidence about yourself. Let's start with that. You got to feel good about yourself, because if I tell you need to get it going, get her up, let's get her done, you got to not take that personal. You got to say, you know what? I got to play harder. I got to go out and do what I need to do. My game's slacking. And I'm not getting after you. I'm getting after the team. Now, if I happen to call on you and say, you know what? Let's go after it, and call out your name, well, now it gets a little personal, and are you able to handle that? And I would say 13 of my 13 girls on this team, they can handle that.
Yeah.
But they have to work we have to work our way up in that, and that's through practice and everything. Physically, there's a lot of things they do off season that they have to do personally when we get in season. Our 2.5 hour practices, it's all about go, 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 go. And
So, do girls really have to be stronger?
stronger?
Yeah.
I would say that our girls are very strong.
Yeah.
And I would challenge anybody, whether it be girls that don't play volleyball or guys, to play for 8 hours a day on a Saturday, like we did up in Fowlerville. Dive, hit the floor, bounce back up, get up, move on to the next play, go for 30 seconds, go, and step back, take a deep breath, do it again, and do it again, and do it again.
And a girl's body is built differently than a boy's body. So
Well, but it's all about, again, what can we do different things. Guys are built differently, girls are built differently, and it's all about training. We don't do a lot of weightlifting. We do a lot of cord work. We do a lot of isometrics. We do a lot of different kind of body ball, polymetrics, box jumping, that kind of stuff. And we've been very successful with that.
Yeah. So, are women prone to more injury or different kinds of injuries? Especially volleyball, jumping up and down constantly.
Right, and constantly, and that's part of your training. Again, I listened to Coach Finney talk the other night, and he talked about taking 15 minutes and working on a drill at 50%. Well, we do the same thing. We slow the drill down, we slow that skill down so they can land properly, take off properly. So we don't have those knee injuries and things like that some other school has had. And knock wood, we've been very fortunate. Now, after just saying that, I hope we don't have any issues, but we've been very lucky over the last couple of years that we haven't had an injury. And when you don't have injuries, players are going to get better, and we're going to get faster. But going back to where we started, we talked about getting faster and stronger, and our strength is getting better. You can come out and watch us, and our girls, they are very physically fit, and you can see that when you watch them warm up and go after it.
And so when someone comes out to watch a game, if somebody knows nothing about volleyball, what do they have to know when they come in and watch a game?
Well, first of all, they're going to watch how excited the fans get.
Yeah.
Because our draw at volleyball games at home, we're filling the stands. And it's quite exciting to coach that, and the girls get excited about it. The next thing is the excitement from the floor. When you watch a girl go up and hit the ball down, and the other team just sort of all stand there and stare, and the crowd goes nuts for that, it's like, okay, this is sort of fun. We haven't seen this. There's no contact because there's a net in between us, but volleyball, you've got 6 girls on a smaller court than basketball and football and almost any other competitive sport. And it truly is the ultimate team sport because those 6 must work together. And you can't have a breakdown of 1 or 2 because it won't run. The team won't run, and you'll see those breakdowns. So another way is, you'll have a girl that can be at the net, jump up high, and then take a block from their best hitter, and that other hitter just looks at the floor in disgust. And you know what? You see those emotions because you're close enough to see it.
Yeah.
It's really cool too. Is the last couple of years, coaches now in volleyball, they used to be made by the rules of sitting down. Now coaches can get up and move around. Not that it needs to be a coach-centered sport, but you know, we get excited too. And when there's a good call, bad call, exciting play. So that too can sort of charge them up. Because the person you're talking about is my sister, my older sister. She doesn't understand the game of volleyball.
Yeah.
But when she comes, she sees everybody get charged up and she loves coming to the games.
Yeah. And so the games actually are rewarding for the girls because of all of the fan activity, but the practices must be tough.
Well, the preparation is going on right now. Coach Nevins is up working the girls. And you know, we do. Last night, we went through a 2-hour practice in the gym that's about 90 degrees, and it's important to push during that time, and so we can sort of, during game time, this is what we worked on Monday. Let's execute it here. Mm-hmm. It's preparation of different plays. We have different offenses. We incorporate different hitters at different spots on the net. We have senior leadership. We got 6 seniors, 6 juniors, and 1 sophomore this year. And it's a great balance of skill and age. And we can do multiple things on offense. And other teams are just looking at us, and coaches will ask me afterwards, what are you doing over there?
Now, you actually said plays. I think volleyball is a sport in which if you are an uninformed viewer, you don't really think of plays, but there's a lot of strategy to the game.
There is, and that's what's neat too, because every level, freshman parents, JV parents of Charlotte, then when they get to the varsity, it's like, what are they doing? And our JV coaches are getting better, and our freshman coaches, and they're starting to run those plays now at lower levels, which is only going to make us better.
Yeah, they're not just hitting the ball back.
No, they're not. There is a purpose for everything they do, and we are attempting to set up a play every time, whether it be audible, which means the hitters are calling it, or it's a set play, a design play, where the players are all moving and the setter makes a call. And that's all done when the ball is moving over the net. Mm-hmm. So it has to be done in split seconds, not 30-second huddles, not timeouts or anything. It's done on the fly.
So you've been a coach for a long time here in Charlotte and other places. How is it different from being a coach to being a teacher?
How is it different? First of all, we got to get our kids excited about learning. I think it naturally comes in athletics. They want to be excited, you know, they're excited about the sport and that. But in the classroom, it's different because you do have to motivate different students in different ways. We have, in 7th grade, we brought in some new technology with the iPads. And it's quite exciting this year because we have some new, a tech book they call it, through Discovery Education, and that's very exciting to work with, and we're working our way through the first couple of weeks of school now. And
so you have to learn new things.
Well, and that's what we have to do. And you know, as one of the kids said to me the other day, our teacher doesn't know the right button. I said, that's right. I said, we're learning this together, but you know what? I'm a little bit more advanced than you are on this one, so let's work together on it. And it was a great moment in the classroom, and you know, the other 29 students, 30 students are watching, and you know what, we got right back to work, and we're moving along in that tech book, and it's exciting. It's nice too to give high fives to kids in the hallways coming in to get them excited about coming to my classroom. I see teachers like Mr. Haston that works in technology. He's always smiling and doing fun stuff, and you know, we just sort of look at each other and wave, and you know, kids see that stuff and they get excited. You know, I mean, you got to make kids at that age excited. You know, about being in school every day.
And so they come to school and they are excited, and you have to take them through a curriculum of things that they learn at their grade level. And there are a lot of other things happening in a kid's life. It's not just the course material. You have to deal with that too, don't you?
You betcha. It's a balance between their social lives, from being at home, their friends, being at school. Something could happen on the way to school. Something could happen during the hours in school. Something could happen in the bathrooms at school. Something could happen in the hallways. So yeah, then they got to come into class, settle down. and let's focus on what we're doing. And you know, again, it comes with age, experience, but you see something does not work with a couple students that walk in the door, and you know, you try to, hey, come on, let's get it together today, and to help them out.
Do you as a teacher spend more time with young people who are not keeping up and focus on them? Is that just a requirement of the job to make sure that the people who might be trailing stay up with the rest of the crowd?
Well, I have to tell you that every student has the right to learn. And it's our job to make sure that student, again, sort of a play with athletics, but it's my job to get them up to speed. Mm-hmm. And I, with the tools we have now, the iPad, the tech book, is going to allow me to do that, to work with students that are a little behind, but also on the other hand, it also helps the kids that want to get going. You know, they can giddy up and take on some other responsibilities in our social studies department. So it works both ways. You know, you don't always have that one student that wants social studies. You know, it's not their favorite subject, but again, coming in, there's a balance working with all students.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Coach, tell me, is it when you deal with students who may be really achieving, what do you do for the high achieving students to make sure that they can reach their ultimate true potential?
Well, there's lots of different ways of doing that. In difference of maybe having them, we have stand-up Tuesdays where they stand up, and then they can now, with the iPads, they'll come up and demonstrate and navigate through a chapter for us, and that's them doing that. So they can work on that, oh, I don't want to do anything in front of the class. Well, they're never really thinking about that anymore. So one way of doing that. Another way is they get done maybe with their questions that we were working on, and they're able to now, with our discovery program, there's different ways to shoot off and take some extensions, take some other ways of learning about Cairo, about Egypt, about Africa, you know, and what's happening over there, from current events to past events. And before, with just a textbook, we had to follow along in the text and the pages, and now this one allows you to watch 3-minute videos and then get right back into what we're doing, and it's really quite exciting.
Well, do the kids learn differently, or have the young people changed dramatically in all the years you've been coaching and teaching?
There must be something that happens to me whenever people ask me, because I'm at that age now where I've had that question asked a lot in volleyball. You know, what's happened over the last couple of years? And I think what's happening in the classroom is technology has really taken over. And some kids are ready for that, some are not. But you know what? In reality, all of them need to be. And what we need to do as a school district is continue to work with them. We got to figure out a way, too, to make sure everybody has an iPad, and we're working on that. Everybody has internet at home. Everybody has that ability to work out of school as well as in school. But it's just fun being part of that change, and there has been, what do you say, the environment has changed in education a lot in the last couple of years, and I'm sure you've interviewed different people and talking about that, but it still comes down to them showing up to school every day and having that social interaction with friends, and having that interaction with teachers, and teachers then giving them instruction, and it's a perfect job. I love it.
Well, that's why people like Charlotte Public Schools.
That's right.
Well, Coach, thank you for being with us. I'm Bob Colt. We'll continue our conversations.